Joined right now by Padres relief pitcher Tom Cosgrove. And we've said many times, if you are a regular person, you'd have no chance in getting a hit against a major league pitcher.
Correct.
But if there's like one that I would really least like to face and be so uncomfortable, I think it would be Tom Cosgrove.
Yeah,
just the way his balls kind of look coming out of the hand and move. It just feels like that would be a very uncomfortable at bat.
You also look mean out there when you're pitching. You're not a big tall guy, but you look mean.
Yeah,
you look like you're pissed off all the time.
Not a very intimidating presence physically, I guess. But yeah, no. I guess mean would be the word. I'm having fun, but I'm not there to have fun. If that makes sense.
No, it makes it an intense competitor, certainly. Yeah. Do you I want to talk about, because we asked Brett Sullivan about it too. You know, you get your 12th round draft pick, you get the call up. Do you remember every second of when they told you, hey man, you're going to the big leagues?
Yeah, I do. It was pretty late. It was like after a AAA game in El Paso. I was home already, and the manager calls me, and he's like, you got to come back to the field.
Did your heart start racing when the manager calls at midnight or whatever?
I was waiting, dude. I was waiting. But yeah, I mean, yeah, he was doing the shtick where he was like, you're in trouble, like something. He was like, you did something at the apartment complex. I'm like, well, we're not doing this. Like, am I going to the big leagues? Like, I don't really want to. We're not doing this.
You called him out of his
I was like, we're not doing this. Yeah. I know Welly pretty well, and I saw right through it. But he was like, shut up, just come to the field.
Just play along, idiot.
Yeah.
So good.
So how did you your unique style, the release point, the delivery, is that how you always like pitched in high school and coming up, or did you develop that? How did that come about?
So in high school, I think I was like kind of similar to how I throw now. I was like more of an athletic, lower slot. And then I got to college, and I wasn't too well versed on like all the new technology stuff that was coming out with the Rapsodos, like IVB, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And IVB was the big thing, like induced vertical break. That was like the new thing. And I started chasing that, and my arm slot got like way over the top, and I was trying to throw it over the top to get as much IVB as possible, because I thought that was what played. So I kind of started manipulating my arm slot a little bit. I got into like kind of some bad, uncomfortable positions for a while there, maybe throughout college and my first few years in the minor leagues. And then I just ran into some trouble. Like, my stuff wasn't as good as I thought it was, and I had some like arm problems. I was throwing in like uncomfortable positions.
Weirdly.
Yeah, I was like manipulating my arm slot, and then and then we kind of had this revelation, and I just feel so much more comfortable and more athletic and more repeatable from where I'm at now. So yeah, it worked out really well.
The mechanics of pitching it's fascinating to me. I think it's fascinating to a lot of people. And then you throw the technology component on top of it. Do you want information? Do you want to go to the PLNU lab and get the stuff all over you and know this is what my slider does and when it's right, and this is where my arm needs to be? Or are you more of a feel guy?
I think it's really important to like find out what works best for you. Everybody's different. Like, there are guys who are so in depth with that stuff, like you said, at the lab. And me, I feel like I'm kind of on the other end of the spectrum. I'm not really super well versed on like all those numbers and what they mean, but I'm super involved in how guys like Ruben and Fritz and Peter interpret it, and then they spit it back at me. So I think I'm more comfortable letting them digest the information and give it to me, rather than me digest the information and look at it myself.
Try to make your own adjustments.
Yeah.
Now, Ruben is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, we have we've sat down with him, talked to him many times about pitching. He's so knowledgeable. What about him works so well for you?
He doesn't coach everybody the same way. He's really good at figuring out like what each individual player needs. And I think it was really helpful for him not to just come at me with a bunch of information and overwhelm me. He kind of like let me do my own thing, figured out who I was as a pitcher and like what I liked and what I didn't like, and what worked for me and what didn't work for me, and like how I learned. And he was really, really good at being able to pick up on what resonated with me.
Sure. Talking to Padres relief pitcher Tom Cosgrove here on 97.3 The Fan. Tom, are you familiar with Pitching Ninja?
Yeah.
We've had
sure.
Rob on our show before. You've made it a few times. Is that when you make a batter look like a major league hitter, look kind of silly with a swing or diving out of the way of a strike? Is that satisfying to you? Do you mark those ones?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm not a big social media guy.
Yeah.
I do have a Twitter. I follow like 3 people. It's like the Padres, MLB, and the Pitching Ninja.
Yeah.
So that's really it. It's just kind of like that's
not
it.
every big leaguer can make that. You got something unique kind of going on there that at least at this point, some hitters look uncomfortable up against you.
I don't want to jinx anything too, but I mean the online reputation is the Shohei Ohtani. For some reason you've got his number, and he's a really good hitter, and you've made him look bad a couple of times. When you see lefty is always fun for you. You're a lefty, and
but
you see a lefty up there. Yeah,
too.
you do well against righties as well. But there's something about that slot lefty. It seems like a really uncomfortable at bat for them.
Yeah, it's a tough look. I wouldn't say I have Shohei's number yet. Like you said, it was a couple times. Literally 2 times. I'm not putting too much stock in that just yet, but
might see a few more times.
Yeah, you may see him a few more
times. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I will. But yeah, it's definitely a tougher look for lefties. But yeah, my splits were better against righties for whatever reason. Yeah.
We had Steven Wilson on yesterday, and obviously he's been with the team, I think, 3 big league seasons now. And even he says you never feel totally comfortable, trying to win a job in camp. There are a lot of new faces in that bullpen right now. What's the room like? What's the competition like in the bullpen? Just the kind of the general feeling here at spring training.
Yeah, we got a bunch of dudes. Like we got dudes that are on the roster that are really good. We got dudes who aren't on the roster who are really good. We got dudes who haven't pitched above AA who are really good. Like everybody's good. Like the competition doesn't stop. It's going to be like that next year. It's going to be like that the year after that. And Steven's right. Yeah. Like I don't feel comfortable at all.
Yeah. You see a guy like, who's Jeremiah Estrada? But he looks good.
Yeah.
I don't even know who he is.
Yeah. Estrada, Sandridge, dude. We got a bunch of dudes in that clubhouse. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Tom,
man.
really appreciate it. It's fun getting a chance to chat with you here, and good luck. We certainly hope to see you on the roster all season long this year, and hopefully in Korea in a couple of weeks. But thank you for your time.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Tom Cosgrove.